Welcome to Speak, Think, Serve, the blueprint for growth without burnout. Sharpen your words, strengthen your mind, and serve with intention.
Explaining leadership to a first-time manager is like handing a recipe to someone who's never cooked. They'll read it, sure, but until the pan's hot and the onions are burning, they don't get it. That's where analogies come in. They're the smell, the sizzle, the taste test that makes it real. Analogies close the gap. They're the shortcut from confusion to clarity the moment someone says, "Oh, now I get it."
And it's not just a nice to have, right? There's real science behind it. The brain doesn't store facts the way we wish it did. It stores stories and images. Daniel Pink talks about this in To Sell is Human, and Chip and Dan Heath in Made to Stick. They all say, if you want your idea to last, you need to make it concrete, visual, and relatable. Analogies do all three at once.
Exactly. And George Lakoff, the cognitive linguist, he says metaphors don't just shape how we talk, they shape how we think. Like if you frame an argument as a war, you're going to act like you're fighting. But if you frame it as a dance, suddenly it's about rhythm and connection. Just try it in your head right now.
Yeah, you're right. It's a profound difference. It's not just about making things sound pretty. Analogies actually help people get it faster. They activate mental models we already have. So if you're explaining a new process to a team and you say, it's like a relay race, marketing hands it to sales, then ops carries the baton, everyone can picture it, even if they've never run track in their life.
And it sticks. I mean, I still remember the first time someone told me, don't frost the cake before it's baked. I was like, oh, that's why my project plans always feel messy. Suddenly I could see it, and I never forgot. So let's throw it out there. Miles, what's an analogy that changed your mind or made a complex topic suddenly click?
Okay, so years ago, I was struggling to explain to a client why we couldn't just add features to a software project at the last minute. My mentor said, it's like building a house. You can't just decide to add a third floor after the roof's on. That hit me. Suddenly, I could explain it to anyone, and they'd nod along. It's like once you have the right analogy, you're not just talking, you're connecting.
That's it. And honestly, I think that's why analogies are so powerful for quiet leaders too. You don't have to be the loudest in the room. If you say it best, people remember you. That's influence.
Let me give you a real example. I was leading a team, somehow got zoomed in on perfecting the little UI details, button spacing, colors, micro interactions, even though the main structure wasn't done yet. So I said, we're talking about hanging pictures and shelves on a wall we haven't painted yet. Yeah, we can do it, but we're just going to end up taking them down and rehanging them once the paint's dry. Let's finish the wall first, then those final touches will actually land the way they should. That shifted the focus. Suddenly, it wasn't about delay, it was about sequence, about getting it right, not just getting it done.
That's such a human moment, and it's not just about being clever, it's about making things real. The Heath brothers in Made to Stick talk about simple, unexpected, concrete, credible, emotional stories. Analogies hit at least half of those in one shot. They make things concrete and emotional, and they turn abstract ideas into stories people can see in their heads.
Yeah, and the best analogies are the ones that fit the room. Like if you're talking to a mixed team, tech, sales, admin, you need something everyone can relate to. That's why you hear analogies like, changing CRMs in peak season is like swapping tires while driving on the freeway, or we're building the bridge while we walk across it. It's not just about being memorable, it's about building trust. When people feel like you get their world, they listen.
And it's not just for the big stuff. Even little phrases like, we scuffed the paint, we didn't crash the car, can shift how a team reacts to feedback. Or, you're driving with the parking brake on, let's release that. Suddenly, it's not personal, it's just a thing to fix. That's the power of a good metaphor.
So, for everyone listening, think about the analogies you've heard at work. Which ones helped you build trust or finally clarify a goal? And which ones made you roll your eyes? I mean, not every analogy lands, right?
Oh, for sure. I've heard some that just don't work. Like, it's like herding cats. I mean, sometimes it's true, but sometimes it just makes people feel like the work is impossible. The best ones are specific, a little funny, and actually help you see the path forward. All right, let's do a quick role play. Imagine we're rolling out new software to a team that's half tech, half sales, and a couple of admins who are, let's say, not thrilled about change. Miles, you're the project lead. How do you explain what's happening?
Okay, here goes. Team, I know this new software feels like a lot, but think of it like switching from driving a stick shift to an automatic. At first, it's weird. You reach for the clutch that isn't there, but after a week, you're cruising and wondering how you ever did it the old way. We're going to stall a couple times, but that's part of learning, and we're all in the same car.
That's good, I might add. And if you get lost, we now have GPS, our dedicated support team. No one's getting left behind. See, now it's not just a software rollout, it's a road trip. People can picture it, and it feels less scary.
But here's the thing. Analogies aren't magic. If you pick the wrong one or push it too far, it can backfire. Lee Lefevre in The Art of Explanation says analogies are great for making things clear, but if you oversimplify, people might miss the real complexity. Like, not every project is a cake, right? Sometimes it's more like a souffle. One wrong move and it collapses. So you gotta choose carefully.
Yeah, and sometimes analogies can actually mislead. If you compare something to a relay race, but the process isn't actually sequential, people might get confused. So use them, but check in, ask if it makes sense, or if it's just making things muddier.
So, practical tips. If you want to create your own analogy, start with what your team already knows. What do they do outside of work? What's a shared experience? And keep it simple. If you have to explain the analogy, it's probably not the right one.
And here's a challenge for everyone listening. In your next meeting, try using an analogy to explain something tricky. Doesn't have to be perfect, just try it. And then notice, did people lean in, did they nod, or did they look confused? That's your feedback loop.
And share it with us. Drop your best workplace analogy in the comments, or tell us about a time you used one that actually worked, or totally flopped. That's how we all get better.
All right, let's wrap. Analogies aren't just clever phrases, they're fuel. They make people see what you mean, build trust, and make your ideas contagious. But none of that matters if you don't actually try one this week. So, action items. Use an analogy in your next conversation, and check out the game and the additional resources. It's really good.
Yeah, and here's a little tip. In the game, scroll to the bottom to see our top 10 list of famous analogies. Share your favorites. We want you to win, and we want to hear your stories. So, get out there, make it practical, and let's build something together.
Thanks everyone for listening. Go make your words stick. See you in the next chapter.
You've been listening to Speak, Think, Serve, the blueprint for growth without burnout. Remember, ideas don't change things. Action does.